Hi creator, welcome to Odessa Rose Creates. I'm back in my studio today, finally, after being out of town for a few days. And today probably tomorrow too, I'm going to work on some lemon projects. We have lots of different options for transfers to use for the lemon theme. I'm going to try to go off the traditional colors or color palette maybe today, gearing more towards a little bit home decor colors, because I'm thinking about, as I'm standing here waiting for 10 o'clock to arrive, I'm thinking about changing out my boards above my fireplace and kind of do a theme around lemons and summer in general with this color palette that I'm going to show you today. We are just going to work with the Chalk Couture transfer today. We're going to use lots of the elements that are in this. We have the frame, we have greenery, of course, ice cold lemonade, freshly squeezed, refreshing and delicious. And of course, we have a set of lemons here with a big leaf. So there's lots of little elements that we can use on the block set. So this is the block set. It comes in 3 different shapes. We have a long rectangle down here, a square, and another smaller rectangle. They are 1 inch wide, which is perfect for self-standing. And so we could put those in like 3-tiered trays or double-tiered trays. Of course, shelves and countertops, coffee table trays, wherever you want to put these blocks. They're perfect. Of course, you can create on both sides. If you don't have a roundabout that you're walking around them, maybe you want to create a different season on the back side, or just, I always like to make sure I at least have a nice finish. If I get paint or something on the back side, I don't want to go ahead and just paint the back side so that if someone happens to see the back side, it looks nice, right? So a block set, I've got a set already opened up and I've sanded them down a bit to expose some of the more wood tone underneath and give us a little bit more dimension in it. Now, I was trying to decide before I got on which color palette I wanted to go with. Kind of more of a traditional one, which would have been this. I'm going color palettes by scrapbook paper. So I still might do a set that I don't necessarily sand or not sand as much in this pink and yellow stripe, wood tones, and some buffalo plaid in the pinks. But as I was going through my papers, and I kind of wanted to do something different because we see, at least in the chalk world, we see a lot of people already creating with the pinks and yellows or just the yellows and greens. But I'm going to go a little bit more jewel toned, maybe you could say. But we got this vintage. This one, it's got some pinks in it and some golds and yellows, but it's got some burgundy, right? That's going to be different. This is a vintage, lots of textures and layers in this paper here. That's going to bring our yellows in. And then I pulled out a chippy wood finish. And these are just going to be borders going on the edge of the blocks. So if you watch my lives, you know how I like to do that on our cutouts. So we'll be cutting out 1-inch wide strips and attaching them with Mod Podge around the blocks. So here's the blocks that I had sanded down a little bit. I left the backside white. Hopefully I can just keep it clean and white. If not, I might just brush on some color after I'm done. But we'll be putting the paper all the way around the edges. And so here's the square one. And somewhere in this pile, we have the rectangle. So we want to get started first with cutting our strips and go in that route. I'm going to also show you some other lemon transfer we have is this one. This is super adorable on our jar cutout. It's like a mason jar cutout of wood, similar to the blocks I just showed you, but it's in the shape of a mason jar. You can buy that on my website. I didn't think I have one. I thought I had one, but I couldn't find it. But so I might have to order one so I can create this transfer using this sweet tea. But of course we got some awesome slices and some other little, the little blossom and all kinds of cool stuff down there. So that's a great lemon one. We still have our lemon garland kit. This creates, it's got little lemon cutout shapes and you string them on an actual garland, twine to make a garland. It comes with all kinds of cool ribbons, pom-pom ribbon, the buffalo plaid ribbon, creams, and even gold. So there's a construction sheet. You get the paste packets to make it in the traditional yellow and green. If I'm going to go all out with this theme that I'm doing today, I'm going to create this in the colors that match what I'm going to use. So we may be doing that here on a live also. And then another thing that's sold out right now, and I don't know if it's going to be coming back or not, because Chalk Couture is kind of changing their ways. It's like, if you see something you like, you better get it right away, because once it's sold out, it's sold out, and they move on to another kit or another project, another transfer, another surface. Even our little hexagon is already sold out, and the way I understand it, it's not coming back. So when you see something you like, or you think you might want to create with it, you need to grab it right away. So this is a tray. It's a big lemon wedge tray, and I've yet to create this one too. So hopefully in the next, today, tomorrow, and the next time I come on, I'm going to do a bunch of lemon stuff to get ready for summer, right? Memorial Day is just around the corner. So those are some lemon projects. Okay, today I'm going to try to do everything with just one transfer. This is our Club Couture transfer for the month. Club Couture is a subscription service that you need to join. If you are not already a club member, click on my link up above where it says Club Couture and read all about it. But it's $19.99 a month, and you're going to get 3 paste color packets and a transfer every month for $19.99. Also, as a member, you're going to get on all orders that you place with Chalk Couture flat rate shipping for $4.95, I think it is, and in America, and then I should say in the U.S., and then also promotions and deals throughout the different months. This month, anyone can buy 2 transfers to get the third one free of equal or less value. Great deal for everyone. Club members can do that. Plus, they have an offer to buy these 3 packs of chalk jars. One pack is black, like a red and a teal, I believe. The other one is the white. I think it's a green. I don't know if it's meadow or pesto. And is it a yellow? I forget. I'll look at my pictures. Anyway, I think that's buy 2, get 1 free also. And that's for club members only. So great way to stock up on getting some jars of chalk paste. Let me see the colors. I have them here. Ba-ba-da. Yep. This set here, which is a yellow, or this set. Club members only. You get 3 jars of chalk paste, those exact 3 for the price of 2, I believe, is the deal. Club members only, so make sure you log in so you can get that little bonus offer. And maybe you have to make a qualifying purchase in order to get that. You may have to have a qualifying purchase. I should have looked up the details. I've forgotten. All right, good morning, Candace says. So happy to catch you live. Yeah, I haven't been on a week. I've been over to, in Iowa the last few days, visiting my sister and my parents. And then a sister and a friend of ours, we went up to Pella, Iowa, which is a Dutch heritage community. And of course they have their Pella Tulip Time Festival is this week, starting probably today. And of course, there's still a lot of people that come early, and they have beautiful tulip beds to photograph and check out. They're just gorgeous. And they have some really cool gift shops up there that we like to go and check out. Okay, let's figure out which way we want the grain of the wood to go. So I'm thinking crossways. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this tab off of it. So we want 1-inch strips. Okay, guys? Our block sets are 1 inch. So find your 1-inch mark. Make sure it's straight. And this one's going to go on the medium set. So let's see how many strips we need. I believe we'll need 2. So we need 2 strips for that size. Okay. And these are thicker and wider than some of our other cutouts. Most of them are 3/4 inch. This one is a 1 inch. And this color is going to go on the little square. And I'm guessing we still would need 2 strips for that one. Okay, 2 strips for the small square. And then on the large square, we're going to use our burgundy little dots that have pink and gold in them. And I kind of want some of this brighter right in here. So I'm going to cut this tag off. And I want to make sure I get some of these colorings in here. So I'm going to cut this paper down. And now we'll use our 1-inch strips right in this area of the paper. And we're probably going to need 3 to get all the way around the large rectangle. All right, let's set our paper aside and our paper cutter. And thinking about, let me show you the strips here and the blocks. So we're going to use this 1 club transfer on all 3 blocks. So let's get it out. I'll kind of go over my plan. If I say it out loud, maybe I'll remember it. I am thinking the lemons and possibly the framing around the lemons on this block. And then ice cold lemonade, freshly squeezed on this rectangle block. And then on the square, we're going to try to get some of these leaves in there, and then refreshing and delicious on the square. So, I think I want some faint pinky color washed into here. This one I may leave, and then this one I could also leave it, or just let's just see what that looks like. Let's just go with this one first. And I'm just going to use my chalk paste. I got tons of colors out here that kind of work with this theme. In the pink fields, I have, some of these are retired colors, but I have rosewood, shimmer rose gold, peachy keen, pink grapefruit, and sunset drive. In the green field, I have pesto and sage. And then I pulled out some yellows, daffodil, bumblebee, and Sunnyside. It might be Daffodil that's not available. I also pulled out shimmers in Shimmer Harvest, Shimmer Gold, and Shimmer Copper. Now, I'm not necessarily going to use all these, but I got them here handy. And then the neutrals, I have Bark and Black Velvet. Also the chocolate that I make, which is a darker brown, and Camel. Okay, so that's my color palette. I don't know if I'll use all the colors, more than likely not. But I want to have them here handy and look at them as we create. So I was talking about putting just a little bit of pink hue to the background of this. So we'll probably want to use, I'm thinking either Peachy Keen or Pink Grapefruit, or you could use even Sunset Drive. Holding up to the papers here. And I want it very faint, so I'm probably going to go with Peachy Keen. And we're just going to put it on the sanded surface. I sanded this down with my electric sander. This is the original. And this is it after I sanded it. And I'm just going to water down a little bit of this Peachy Keen. And what kind of brush do I want to use? And just put a little color, a little bit of that hue, pinky color in the background. So I'm getting my brush wet and just going to brush that in there with the wet brush. And not a lot, just a little. I may even put it on a tray so I can mix it a little bit better. There we go. Mix the water in with the paste. And I'm going to do it before I apply my paper so that I'm not getting the paper wet. When this dries, then we're going to glue on the paper. And it's just ever so slightly. Get my brush wet, get my paste wet. And it's just kind of dyeing it, you know. Not really covering it with paint or what looks like paint, just kind of staining it. And you might not even be able to tell on camera with this light color. Okay, and we'll just take our my little heat gun or little embossing gun and dry it. Chalk Couture also has a heat tool, or you can just use your hair dryer if you need to speed things along. Who else is joining today? Say hi. Hi, Nancy. 50% off. 50% off. Thanks, Layla. Lila. Let that dry. So you kind of see maybe you can see, it's slightly pinkish. It's pretty. Now let's do the same thing. So that's going to be laying on there. I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to do just make it slightly yellow. Because this is the one we're going to put the green leaves on. And just refreshing and delicious. So I think we could have a yellowish background to this. So let's get a little bit of yellow out. And we'll do the same thing. And the paper has kind of this camel color in it. It's kind of more of a, you see the brownness in it. So I'm going to a little bit more of the brown. We could also just maybe do that with some distressed ink also, but let's just see if we can tone that yellow down just a little bit. There we go. Kind of a creamy yellow, tan yellow. I don't know what to say. Okay. And I got a lot of it running over, so I'm just gonna wipe my edges off. It's really wet. And let's try that. See, it's got yellow in it. Okay. Thank you. Loves my creativity. Leela. Thank you, Leela. Leela. Good morning, Nancy. Say hi if you're watching. I'd love to know who's on, so I can say hello to you. We're going today work with our Chalk Couture for the month of May in kind of some warmer tones, a little bit more home decor color maybe. So that one's going to go on there. And then on this one I think we'll leave the natural color. Okay, so we're kind of done coloring the bases here. So let's close these back up. And now we're going to apply Mod Podge to our paper strips and get those glued on. I'm going to use, of course, Mod Podge and a brush. Let me find my Mod Podge. Right here. Now, let me see. I like to show it best where you're not going to see a seam, like right on top. If it's going to be a seam, put it, on the bottom. So we're going to start with a full. Or I may even just do it at the corners. Which they're pretty white. So I'm going to go bend around the corners. If I had sanded my corners, I would have exposed them, but I didn't. They're bright white still, so we'll just bend it around and then continue. Let's see what that's going to look like. Yeah, and then we'll come around that one. Okay, so we'll do one long strip across the top. Let's see which one I want to do. Maybe this one has more pattern on it. Brush. Don't be afraid to put this on too thin. I mean, you don't want it super thin, like it's going to dry instantly. You want to put a good coating on. So it looks nice and wet. This paper's thin. So I'm just gonna put it right on there. Next one. We had some movers take some of our furniture that was in our house that was originally in our previous funeral home, and it's been in my house for 5 years waiting to buy the next funeral home, which we did back in September. So most of that furniture was in my front living room, I guess you could say, the more formal. So now that room looks super empty. I still have my sectional in there, but almost all the other pieces are gone. Our grandfather clock and a big Adagir glass case and all this stuff. And I had to pack in boxes what was in all those things, so now we already have boxes sitting around waiting to move, which won't be for like close to a year because we haven't started building yet. So just living in boxes around boxes is not fun, but oh well. Okay, let's put the last little strip on here. These strips are slightly hanging over the edge. Like I should have went short, slightly short of 1 inch. So once they dry, the glue dries, I'll kind of buff them with sandpaper just to take that edge off the paper, off the edge of the block. And if you've ever done this, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to line this up, and then we'll cut off where the paper meets up. Right here. So we have that. This is the back. That's the all white side, but here's the front. And it does have a slightly rosy tone to it. So we're gonna let this dry, and let's go ahead and put the paper on the other squares, or other blocks. Can throw that a little bit away. Okay, let's do the yellow one. Try to decide if I like the yellow on the yellow. Kind of thinking I like the white. Let's see. This is gonna have the green. I'll go ahead and put the yellow. I'll stick with my plan. Put the yellow on the yellow. So since we got the furniture moved in, we ended up hanging, you know, our wall art up in the funeral home. Got that done yesterday. We still have a little bit more new furniture coming. So that's supposed to be here next week. And then we'll be kind of done for now until we do the big remodel. Except, oh, well, I shouldn't say that. We're going to redecorate the arrangement room next after we get the community room done. We still have projects to do. But the main part of the funeral home is getting done, so starting to look more like a home. Okay, let's get these stuck on there. I might go ahead and try to trim this where it needs to be trimmed. And then we'll start printing as soon as I get my papers on. Which probably goes faster than all the prep. Again, slightly hanging over the edge. I need to make sure when I'm working with the blocks, I go slightly under an inch. When I mean slightly, I mean like a hair. Okay, just wipe all your extra Mod Podge that comes out, that squeezes out when you press down on the paper. We have that one done. And now we have this one to do. I always try to make sure I'm not laying my strip on some tacky Mod Podge on here that would possibly, my paper would stick to and tear. So be sure where you're, pay attention where you're placing your strips here, that you're not going to ruin your paper. And just keep pressing so you make sure you get all the air pockets out. And make sure it's lining up on your block, not going crooked. And then we can do the same thing. Figure out where we need to cut this. Right there. Sometimes I cut after I put it on, and sometimes I try to remember to do it before I put it on, but either way. Okay. Let that dry. It's wanting to still slide around. Get it on there. Here's with the wood. So these are our shapes we're going to be working with, and their colors, right? Okay. All right, now we can get rid of this. It's got glue all over it. And now we can start chalking with our transfer. I will probably put a little bit of wax on the wood before we chalk on it. That's recommended. And I'm just going to use a natural clear wax paste. Wax is made for furniture, wax paste, sealer, and protector. So this is protecting our surface. Helps with many things. Not only is it sealing our surface, but it's it may keep chalk paste that may bleed out where you don't want it from entering into the wood, so you can remove it easier. It helps from keeping our transfer sticking too much to the wood and the paste or paint that you may have painted on it. So that helps our transfer come up off of our sticky transfer being released up off of our surface easier, and which keeps our transfer from getting damaged or stretched out. So just apply a little bit of wax paste over your surface. It may help with a lot of little headaches. So it's worth it in the long run to apply that. Sometimes I'll just go ahead and wax over the paper too. That also just protects it and hardens it more. So don't be afraid to do that. Just rub it on there. Once the wax paste hardens, it's just a hard surface. It just protects it. And I hate it when the edges come longer than the side, because then it wants to catch and rip up a little bit. Not rip, but tear back. Or lift up, I should say. Before the glue dries, it lifts it up. I don't know why I'm not waxing the back of that. Okay. All right, we'll start with the base. And we're going to do this ice cold lemonade, freshly squeezed. So we got to decide our colors. And I was kind of thinking shimmer gold or shimmer harvest as the lemonade. We'll get both of them out. We might kind of do a blending of the two. See what fits on here. I think it's a little bit wise to not completely center it up and down. Raise it slightly higher than center. Because when this is sitting on it could be sitting on a countertop, so your eye kind of looks down Or if it's in a tray, sometimes you have the edge and you may lose some of your print or your words or even your artwork down behind that ledge. So I'm going to raise it up slightly so there's a little less space here than there is here, just so it's up slightly. Okay, so I think it's somewhere in there, you know, without getting too close to the edge. And let's just put in a little bit of the dark around. Like that. And then we'll fill it in with the Shimmer Harvest. So we're using both Shimmer Gold and Shimmer Harvest. Just in the lemonade. Okay. That two-tone will make it, you know, vintagey a bit. So there it looks like this. It's got both colors in. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. You can kind of see it there. Lay it back down. Just to release that paste out of the silk screen. And I kind of lay it back down. Press down on the ice cold and the freshly squeezed. And this is where I'm probably going to bring in some black and bark. So those small little letters, especially down here, pop off of that background. So you want a good contrast. That's a brand new one. Let me get the other one out. I could have even done this a little bit with shimmer shadow too. But we'll just leave the shimmer in the lemonade. Okay. So we're, again, kind of like we did before, we're kind of just doing a mixture of the black, a little bit of black, and then chocolate's a color I make with bark, black, and a little bit of red. Make sure it gets worked down in that little silk screen. I'll lift that up too. And then we're going to do it up here on this ice cold. Just making sure it's pressed out in there. Now, I'm gonna let this dry. We may either add like a leaf or something, or maybe some of this border around it. We'll see. I could just even just do the corners, like here and here. and you know, use like this corner and this corner. So let's let this dry a bit and we'll think about it. But it looks really cool with that color. And the print looks mostly black, but it's all right. I love that you explain your thought process. I gotta say something while you're watching me. So yes, I do explain my thought process. What wax are you using? This is just Min Wax. Whoop. I use the natural. This is a dark. This is a stained wax here. But I used the natural. You just get it at hardware stores or home centers. All right, let's put this border on. I think it's gonna look kind of cool. We're gonna just put it not all the way, just part way. Let's see what's gonna look best. I'm gonna line it up and bring it in a little bit. And I think I'm gonna do it from here to here. And I'll just do it in the brown, the chocolate that I made. Like that. And we'll do it down here, same way. The border really adds a lot. It kind of gives you more of that antique advertising sign again. So we need to find one that goes. I have to use the same one. There. I'm going to stop it a little shorter. Right there. So it looks like this now. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. Let's work on another piece. This one's gonna have the lemons on it. And just trying to decide whether to do the border. do, I think I'll just do the kind of center the lemons a little bit, the best I can. And then we'll figure out if we're going to do the border later. So we have a leaf and a full lemon and a lemon half, I guess you could say. So we probably want to get our sage and pesto out for the leaf. I kind of want to do a little bit of a pinky hue in it. So, but kind of shimmery. So maybe the rose gold. Bumblebee. And Sunnyside. We're going to blend these in. And then this color is going to be left with that white underneath. So it's going to look kind of like a highlight, you know, like, so we'll see what it looks like. Let's just go for it. A little pesto and a little bit of sage on our leaf. Try to blend them a little bit. Oops. Okay. Got a little rose gold in my yellow there, but oh well. So we got some blended. There they are. Hopefully they'll show up. I might have to color this in yellow a little bit with watered down, kind of like I did on this. I might color that in a little bit. Let's see, they don't show up the best. So we'll dry it. it nice and dry. I'm going to take this little brush, and I have this, still have this watered yellow right here. Mix a little bit more. Let's see if we can fill this in. And then you could even like transfer back on top again to show the outlines. So I'm just going to color it in, and then I'm going to go over it again with the transfer, just to kind of give it more of a border again. I think they'll show up better. And it does already, just by doing that. Watch. Line it up. And we're just going to go over it again with the yellows. Shows up pretty good. And then I think even putting some stained wax over it will highlight it even more, or maybe it'll even darken more as I dry it. Let's take a look. It's pretty. Nice and dry. That looks pretty good, right? So those, and now we're going to do some of the greenery work and refreshing and delicious. So if we let's do this one down here. It really has blossoms on it also, which are blocked out. So if you were doing on a white surface, the blossoms would show up white. It's kind of interesting. But they also have transfer around it. So I'm gonna run the, I'm gonna try to run white. I need to grab white. I'm gonna try to put white on the blossom and then green around it. Let's see if I can get it to come out to look like a blossom. I'm taking bright white and multi-tool and just hitting the blossom area. And maybe even those little berries, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the start of a lemon growing. I don't know. Okay. Then we'll hit some different shades of greens again. I'm just trying to go where the white isn't. Throw in some dark green. Looks like that. That one up here. Find my white. Okay. We got that one on there. So there's our little blossoms. We're going to dry that, and then we're going to put delicious, refreshing and delicious in the middle. And probably brown. Chocolate brown, the chocolate that I make. Mainly, we just want to make sure this is straight. So the only thing we need to think about is if we want to put a border around the lemons, which I think I might. So it looks something like this so far. Right? Can you see it? Right. Kind of cool. Do we want to put some border around it? I think if we do here and then down here, that'll look pretty sharp. Kind of make sure I got the same edging. Close enough. Okay. We'll do this in the chocolate. I'm just going to do it this way. So we'll have two of the corner pieces, but not so much over there. Okay, the last bit. We almost used every inch of our transfer. I didn't use this corner, but just about. Okay. So I think we're done. I'm going to sand the paper a little bit off the edges because they're kind of catching. They're up just a little bit too much, like right there. Hear it? Yeah. I'm going to take just some fine sandpaper and just kind of sand that paper down. It also makes it look like it blends into the wood more if you don't have that edge. And it's on most of the edges. So otherwise, I think Maybe a little bit of antiquing on the edge after I sand the paper off with distressed ink. You can get an idea what it looks like. Isn't that cute? Right? And these will look awesome in a 3-tiered tray or in a display of somehow. Yeah, cool, right? And these are the colors of the edges. Right? Those. And then this one with the more browns. But cool. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. Like I said, I'm going to just sand the paper down a little bit. I may put a little distressed ink or even the dark wax just to kind of highlight the edges a little bit more. But that's it. That'll take me a little while to do that, but I will show you a photograph when I'm done. Thanks for joining me. What colors did you use on the word lemonade? Shimmer Harvest and Shimmer Gold. So it's kind of shimmery. You can see the 2 tones there. Yep. Shimmer Harvest, Shimmer Gold. So yeah. All right. Any other questions? Okay. The best use of this transfer. Oh, that's nice, Deb. Thanks. The lemons are gorgeous. There, the lemons turned out really well. I think it helped filling in the filling it in and then going back with the dark so you kind of see them. And then I put that rose gold down here a little bit just to kind of give it a more shadow effect and to kind of, you know, make it a little bit more vintage with the look. They turned out pretty cool. So yeah, fun. Thanks for joining me today. Tomorrow we'll probably do another lemon project. Whoop. I think I want to change my board upstairs in my mantle and do something fun up there. I might take the transfer from the tray, which is a big lemon wedge, and put that in there somehow and do something with some pattern. I'll think about it. So watch me tomorrow morning and I'll talk with you later. Bye.